Hey guys, today I'm going to give you my honest review after 2 years of owning this Dewalt DW735 planer. So stick around, I'm going to have a list of pros and cons, and I want to remind you to have a look at these videos too if you're interested in some beginner woodworking projects, or subscribe if you're into more reviews like this. Right out of the box, this is pretty much ready to go. I think I had to install this wheel, also the depth indicator. I can't remember everything. It was 2 years ago, but whatever it was minor. The plastic on this is pretty rugged as well. It does not feel cheap. Pretty rugged actually. Weighs about 92 pounds, and a couple of features I want to talk about on this would be the dust extraction, the dual speed indicator, and the automatic depth stop. This depth guide is also super handy as well. I'll talk more about that here briefly. So this depth guide is a really handy tool. As you can see, it shows you increments of what thickness you should be taking off at what width. And if you look under here, you've got this. That's going to affect this little indicator up here. So you can kind of line up how much you're going to take off before sending it through, which is a great feature. We've got this automatic depth stop. It allows you to cut from 1/8 of an inch all the way up to 1.25 inches without even having to worry about your depth indicator. This will automatically stop you at these depths, which is a really handy tool. There's two speed settings on this as well. One at 179 cuts per inch and one at 96 cuts per inch. Here I'm going to use two pieces of cedar to demonstrate the different cuts. The first cut is going to be at 96 cuts per inch. Then I'm going to switch gears and do the 179 cuts per inch and show you the difference. I almost always leave my planer on the slower setting. I don't know how much of a difference it makes, but as you can see in these two boards, the speeds really don't make anything drastic. So in my opinion, just having the machine work a little slower is probably better for it long term. One awesome feature on this is the dust extractor or dust blower. It's got a built-in blower, so even if you don't have this hooked up to a dust extraction, these chips will fly. Now this thing is super easy to maintain and change the blades. It's got this handy onboard tool which allows you to remove the lid. Once you open the lid, you've got these 3 red wing nuts, which you just take off by hand and remove the blower shield. Underneath that, you've got 3 blades with 8 screws each, which you use the same tool to take the lid off with. These come out super easy. Now the best part about this too is once you take these blades off, you can spin them around. They're double-sided. And there's no alignment needed to put them back on. We've got these handy little pegs that align them for you. So it really is as easy as just taking them out, switching them, and then putting them back in. With the same onboard tool, you can take off the side panel, which gives you access to the drive chain. Here, you just pretty much got to clean it out and give it a little bit of lubricant once in a while. I do it once every 6 months. So in my first winter of using this, I noticed that my boards weren't feeding through as quick, and they were leaving little black marks on the top. So I did a little research, and I found some people that had unheated shops, like mine is most of the time, experienced the same thing until it was heated up. I also looked at that roller and realized I had some dust buildup as well, so I cleaned that. I also took some of this paste finishing wax and put it on the bed, which seemed to help things slide. I should mention too that at this time my blades probably need change, so I ordered some blades, replaced those, waxed the bed, cleaned the roller, and I haven't had an issue since. Aside from that, another inconvenience was the dust extractor. I've got a dust collector, which is great, but I find the hose, if not properly supported, kind of lands down right in front of where you want your wood to feed through. I'm sure this is easily remedied with a 90-degree elbow, which I keep saying I'm going to do and keep forgetting about until I use it again. So I'll count that as a minor inconvenience. The weight. I could put this in the con and the pro category. The weight to me means it's durable, it's not built cheap, but it's also difficult to move around, especially for one person. I built this quick and easy, cheap little stand, and I've been using it for 2 years. It's at the same height as my table saw, so it's a nice little outfit as well. But if you've got a shop where you've got to store this underneath something and lift it out every time you need it, it's going to be a pain. The noise. If you've watched any reviews on this or done your research, most people talk about the noise. And I agree. It is loud, especially when it's cutting boards. But when you've got a small shop, what's not loud? Any tool that I'm using, I regularly use my earmuffs or earplugs. You need to use ear protection whether you're using a Dewalt or some other name. This is a rugged machine that works very well. I don't think I could have got a better planer for a small shop. It's reliable, it cuts, it's easy to maintain. The only downfalls in this, I guess you'd say, is the noise and the weight, but I've kind of overcome these with a little bench and some earmuffs, so that's pretty minor in my opinion. These features like the automatic depth stop and the 2 speeds, I rarely even ever use, so they're a bonus. But even if it did not have those, this is still one rugged machine. Thanks for watching. Please take a second and just hit that like and or subscribe button. It really makes a big difference for a small channel like mine. Have a good one.